He sang for presidents, dined with gangsters, and smashed phones between shows. Frank Sinatra wasn't just famous, he was dangerous. From JFK to the mob, from broken hearts to broken noses, this is Sinatra like you've never seen him. Ready? The mobsman in the White House. Sinatra didn't just know mobsters, he was one of their own. Sam Giancana, Lucky Luciano, Carlo Gambino, those names appear throughout his 2,400-page FBI file. But Sinatra's dance with scandal began much earlier. In 1938, at just 23 years old, he was arrested in New Jersey on a seduction charge, an outdated law accusing him of luring a woman into sex by falsely promising marriage. When it was later discovered the woman was already married, the charge was changed to adultery before eventually being dismissed. Still, it left a paper trail and an unforgettable mugshot. Sinatra, in a pinstripe suit, hair slicked back, flashing a cocky grin. That photo became one of the most iconic early glimpses of his defiant charisma. By 1960, as JFK ran for office, Sinatra arranged a meeting between Giancana and Joe Kennedy to secure labor union support, many of which were controlled by the mafia. Some say that very deal handed Kennedy a narrow win in Illinois. Sinatra thought he was paving the way for progress, but in reality, he was being used. When Robert Kennedy launched his anti-mafia crusade, Sinatra was iced out of the White House. That moment pushed him firmly toward the Republican camp. He cut ties with former allies and reportedly never forgave the betrayal. Was Sinatra a pawn, a player, or something more? The kidnapping that haunted him. In December 1963, Sinatra's 19-year-old son, Frank Jr., was kidnapped from a hotel dressing room in Lake Tahoe. The culprits, 3 young men, including the son of a wealthy businessman, he demanded $240,000 in ransom. Sinatra personally delivered the cash and cooperated fully with the FBI. The kidnappers were caught, but the trauma stuck. From that day forward, Sinatra carried a handful of dimes in his pocket just in case he needed to use a payphone. Those same dimes were buried with him. One of his bodyguards recalled, after that, Mr. Sinatra didn't even trust his own drivers. He became paranoid, doubled his security, and severed ties with several longtime associates, fearing information leaks. Surprisingly, the kidnappers received relatively light sentences. One even became a college professor. Would you have stayed calm if your child was taken? From civil rights icon to hypocrite? In the 1940s, Sinatra took bold stands for racial equality. He canceled shows at segregated venues and stood by black performers like Sammy Davis Jr. and Mahalia Jackson. In 1958, he delivered a fiery speech at Carnegie Hall declaring, "Skin color should never be a ticket or a barrier to music." But in 1981, he performed at Sun City in apartheid-era South Africa, breaking the global boycott. He claimed it was a private concert, but critics pounced. Rumors swirled that he was paid over $2 million. Friends said he regretted the appearance, but Sinatra never issued a public apology. For many, it left a dark stain on his once progressive image. Can someone who champions equality sell out for a paycheck? The risque film he tried to bury. One of the most persistent rumors? That young Frank Sinatra appeared in an explicit short film in the 1930s titled The Masked Bandit, where a masked man seduces a woman. The film reportedly circulated in underground circles until Sinatra became famous. In the 1980s, a former mobster claimed the tape had been used to blackmail Sinatra. His legal team supposedly led a campaign to find and destroy every copy. No footage survives, but references appear in old MGM circles and insider accounts. Hollywood gossip claimed Sinatra once offered $100,000 for any surviving print. Whether true or not, it remains one of the murkiest chapters of his early career, and may have tied him more tightly to the mob. Revenge with a Sledgehammer, the Broken Helipad. When JFK planned a visit to California, Sinatra spared no effort to impress. He renovated his Palm Springs estate, built a full-service helipad, and prepared a musical welcome. But at the last moment, Robert Kennedy insisted the president stay with Bing Crosby, distancing the administration from Sinatra's mob ties. Enraged, Frank reportedly grabbed a sledgehammer and personally destroyed the helipad. His bodyguard, Tony Opata, later said, "He was sobbing like he'd lost a brother." That moment ended Sinatra's political ambitions. He cut off all ties with the Kennedys and publicly aligned himself with Nixon. Temper tantrums, Sinatra style. Sinatra was infamous for his rages. He threw plates at waiters, microphones at musicians, and telephones at walls. At the Sands Hotel, he tossed a TV into the pool. At the Beverly Hills Polo Lounge, he allegedly hit a millionaire in the head with a phone receiver, knocking him unconscious. The press remained silent. Back then, he got away with it. Today, he'd be canceled in a heartbeat. Insiders said he could shift from charming to terrifying in a single evening. Women in his life described these mood swings as emotional whiplash. Strangers in the Night, the hit he hated. The song earned him Grammys and millions, and he despised it. He called it domestic mush, syrupy trash, and refused to sing the La 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 outro. The iconic Doobie Doobie Doo. It was sarcasm, a mockery of the song's simplicity. He often refused to perform it live, muttering backstage, "This crap will outlive me." Ironically, it became one of his most beloved tracks. Critics note that Sinatra's hatred for the song reflected his struggle, artist versus commerce. Mia Farrow and the divorce papers on set. When Frank Sinatra married Mia Farrow in 1966, eyebrows were raised. She was 21. He was 50. Friends said Sinatra was deeply infatuated but also deeply controlling. He gave her an ultimatum: quit acting and be a full-time wife. When Farrow refused to leave the set of Roman Polanski's Rosemary's Baby, Sinatra felt publicly disrespected. He had divorce papers hand-delivered to her on set during filming. According to Polanski, Farrow burst into tears and kept filming the scene. Later, Sinatra would tell friends, "I don't marry actresses. I buy them behind closed doors." He reportedly tried to sabotage the film's distribution. Farrow later called their relationship a beautiful mistake and said she loved him but feared him. She described Sinatra's presence as magnetic and menacing at once. The two remained oddly friendly after the divorce, and for decades, Farrow hinted that Sinatra might even be the biological father of her son, Ronan. Marilyn Monroe. Murder? Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe were close friends, and possibly more. They vacationed together in Palm Springs, and Sinatra allegedly gave her a white poodle named Mav, short for Mafia. After Monroe's death in 1962, Sinatra confided to friends, "She didn't overdose. She was eliminated." He believed her romantic ties to both JFK and RFK and her knowledge of political secrets made her a liability. Sinatra wanted to investigate and even consulted private detectives, but was warned by associates to back off. A source close to Sinatra said he feared the same people might target him if he pushed further. His quote, "Marilyn was Cinderella, but they killed her before the ball," was repeated by multiple confidants. In the 1990s, rumors circulated that Sinatra had been compiling memoirs containing details about Monroe, the Kennedys, and the Mafia, but the manuscript was never found. Some believe it was destroyed by his estate to avoid posthumous controversy. To the end of his life, Sinatra maintained that Monroe didn't die by choice, and that the full truth would never be known.